Hi, grade twos. Our first theme for this term is all about seasons. You can page through the PowerPoint presentation by clicking your mouse at the end of each slide. Phenomena. Phenomena is the plural of phenomenon, facts or situations that are observed to exist or happen, especially whose cause or explanation are in question. This is usually something that is rare and extraordinary. Axis. An imaginary line about which a body rotates or turns around. This imaginary line runs directly through the object's center, from the north to the south poles. Although we can't feel the Earth spinning, it makes one complete turn each day around its own axis. Before we start, you need to know the meaning of the following words. Orbit. The regularly repeated elliptical course of a celestial object or a spacecraft about a star or a planet. An orbit is the path that an object takes in space when it goes around a star, a planet, or a moon. It can also be used as a verb. For example, we say, the Earth orbits around the Sun. Solstice. Either of the two times in the year when the sun reaches its highest or lowest point in the sky at noon, marked by the longest and shortest days. There are two solstices each year, one in December and one in June. Equinox. Either of the two times in the year when the sun crosses the equator, when day and night are of equal length. An equinox occurs when the position of the sun is exactly over the equator. When this happens, the hours of daylight and the hours of darkness are about equal almost everywhere on Earth. Equinoxes takes place twice a year. Hemisphere. A hemisphere is a half of a sphere or a ball. People use the word to describe one half of Earth. Geographers, or people who study the Earth, have divided the planet into two sets of two hemispheres. These are the northern and southern hemispheres and the eastern and western hemispheres. Climate. Climate is the weather condition existing in an area in general or over a long period. Migration. Migration is the seasonal movement of animals from one region or country to another. Many birds migrate south during winter. Hibernation. Hibernation is a state of inactivity during a cold period, especially during the winter. Hibernation is a way that some animals deal with the harshness of winter. They curl up in a safe place and they stay there until winter ends. Hibernating animals seem almost dead. They barely breathe and their body temperature is near the freezing mark. Dormant. Dormant means not active or growing, but it has the ability to be active at a later time. For example, volcanoes are often dormant. What is a season? A season is, of course, each of the four divisions of the year: winter, spring, summer, and fall or autumn. In South Africa, we talk about autumn, but in many other countries they call it fall. Each season has different weather patterns and daylight hours. Seasons also give humans ways to mark the passing of time. They help nature stay in balance too. What causes seasons? Seasons happen because of two natural phenomena. Can you still remember the meaning of phenomena? The first reason for seasons is the rotation of the Earth in its own axis, which gives us day or night. The second reason is the revolution of the Earth around the Sun in its orbit, which gives us our year. As the Earth travels in its orbit, its position in relation to the Sun changes. If the Earth's axis is tilting towards the Sun, the part of the planet closest to the Sun experiences summer. In the Northern Hemisphere, June the 21st is actually the day when the Earth is turned the most towards the Sun. This is known as summer solstice. It is the longest and sunniest day of the year. The exact opposite is applicable to us South Africans because South Africa lies in the Southern Hemisphere. June the 21st would therefore be our winter solstice, and it would be the shortest and darkest day of the year. If the Earth's axis is tilting away from the Sun, the part of the planet farthest from the Sun experiences winter. In the Northern Hemisphere, December the 21st marks the day when the Earth is turned the farthest from the Sun. This is known as winter solstice. It is the shortest and darkest day of the year. Remember that because we are South Africans and we live in South Africa, and South Africa is in the Southern Hemisphere, December the 21st would be our summer solstice, and therefore it would be our longest and sunniest day of the year. Twice a year, though, the Sun crosses the plane of the Earth's equator, making night and day of almost equal length all over the Earth. In the Northern Hemisphere, the vernal equinox, March, marks the beginning of spring, while the autumnal equinox, September, marks the beginning of autumn. In the Southern Hemisphere, the vernal equinox occurs in September and the autumnal equinox in March. Can you remember in which hemisphere South Africa lies? When do seasons change? Seasons change around the same time every year, even though the Earth's two hemispheres experience opposite seasons. In the Northern Hemisphere, winter begins in December, spring starts in March, summer happens in June, and September ushers in fall or autumn. But the opposite is true in the Southern Hemisphere. Summer starts in December, fall or autumn begins in March. Winter begins in June, and September brings spring. At the polar regions, it stays cold even in summer, and many months will pass without darkness. However, during winter, these regions will experience darkness for months on end. The temperature in regions near the equator remain fairly constant all year, with balmy winters not being so different from warm summers. What is spring? Spring is the season that occurs between winter and summer. What is spring like? In the spring, seeds take root and plants begin to grow. The weather is warmer and it's often wetter. Animals wake or return from warmer climates, often with their newborns. In areas where it snows, the melting snow from winter, along with more rainfall, can cause flooding. What is summer? Summer is the warmest season of the year, and it happens between spring and fall. What is summer like? Weather in the summer grows warmer, and in some areas the heat leads to drier temperatures. This hot, dry time of the year can lead to droughts and water shortage. Forest fires may also become more frequent. What is fall or autumn? Fall or autumn is the season that occurs between summer and winter. Fall is considered by many as the end of the growing season, also known as the harvest season. Fall ushers in a time of annual celebrations for many cultures, like, for instance, Thanksgiving Day. What is fall like? Weather during fall becomes cooler. The leaves of some trees change colors and start falling off. Some trees lose all their leaves to survive winter. Animals might prepare themselves for the approaching cold weather, storing food or migrating to warmer regions. What is winter? Winter is the coldest season of the year, and it happens between fall or autumn and spring. What is winter like? Some places may experience snow or ice, while others see only cold rain during the season. Some animals, like bears, begin a period of hibernation during the winter, passing much of the season in a near-sleep state. Many plants die or are dormant, waiting for spring during winter. Now let's see how well you've listened by answering true or false to the following statements. You can read each statement by yourself. Then you can answer true or false before clicking again. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning about seasons today. If you managed to get most of your answers correct, well done. If you didn't, not to worry. Ask your parent if you can give it another go by watching the PowerPoint presentation again.